Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is PJ, man, and this is episode 2 of Beyond the Breaks. Y'all remember my last one with Javi? Well, today I got 2 special guests. I got my boy Krispy, so crispy, and we'll have all their info down in the comments and in the info section, and then we'll also have them. You should see their info below as well. So I got my boy So Crispy. I got my boy Ksquared. That's what I know them as. But I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, how they want to introduce themselves. So Crispy, man, go ahead.
What's going on, guys? Crispy here, Crispy326. I'm known as Kris. My literal name is Kris. Last name, I'm not gonna give that away, but my last name starts with a P. That's where Crispy comes from. And yeah, happy to be here. Happy to talk with these two guys that I can call friends here. So
For sure, brother. Okay.
Yeah, you guys know me, Ksquared. Also Lyle, also Kyle, also every waffle winner. I'm somewhere in there, you know.
just quick little flex. every one of your waffles, Mr.
Every
Steely
time,
Waffles.
every time Crispy runs one, he cheers when I'm out, so that way he doesn't have to
Yes.
deal with the backlash. Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, my main thing is obviously Twitter, and then obviously I have Twitch with my wife, Nikki, not Amanda. We've been doing that about once a week, trying to get a little bit better about that. But with 2 kids, it's rough to try to get that all in, especially when we like our sleep ourselves.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, man. So again, y'all know me. So we started pre-talking, and we brought it back a little bit so we can get into this conversation. So I decided to invite these 2 guys, man. I've gotten to know them through streams, through Twitter. They become pretty good friends of mine. Also, they're deep into the Pokemon community. So when we were originally gonna have this podcast, it was right before VSTAR, literally probably like 2-3 days before VSTAR. But we've had conflicts, whether it's being sick or work, and all to Kyle's point, kids and family life stuff. So we finally found a moment where we can connect and kind of go over this. And we're almost 2 weeks into VSTAR Universe. The focus isn't just VSTAR Universe, but obviously it's gonna be a big topic. And y'all know with this podcast, my goal is to let get to know somebody deeper than their social media page, their stream. And so these 2 guys, like I said, I got to know them. I thought they'd be perfect. Plus, as you can see, me and Kris, we're battling a little bit. Kyle's all right. Because
I'm not talking about my team.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about
Kyle's
his
team is trash, so that's why he's all right.
And so you sports
Let's ride
fans,
it into the ground.
you sports fans, stay here too, because it's not gonna just be Pokemon. All right, because I got these 2 guys. I've already seen me and Kris have gone back and forth on Twitter a little bit. Him and Jeff and Cowboys year this year, and I know what Jeff is doing. I know what Jeff is doing. Kyle, we're all right. We're both in Texas. We live maybe 45 minutes from each other, so we're okay. He's wearing OSU. I'm hooked him, but I'm not. We've gotten Dez, right? Dez came from OSU. Yeah, Dez.
Yeah.
We've gotten Dez, so I have respect for OSU.
Dan Bailey.
Yeah, Dan Bailey. Now that we got
James
CD,
Washington.
now that we got CD Lamb, I'm okay with OU just a little bit, So,
Eh.
but I'm not big college. I'm not big college. I'm basketball and football, NFL and
Same.
NBA. Yeah. So
I started drifting off. We started talking about it at college.
Yes.
I started falling asleep.
The only reason I even sometimes side with our top college is because there's no NFL or NBA.
Sure.
Especially
Yeah,
the Cowboys.
absolutely.
Usually, we're used to the Cowboys doing horrible already, so it just gives me another topic. Just something to
Right.
look forward to outside of that. So man, we'll get straight into the questions, man. I got a couple of questions for the boys. Gonna let them answer. We're gonna have discussions within it, and we'll just go from there and see how it goes.
Cool.
So first one, and we'll start with you this time. Ksquared. I also know Ksquared as the glasses emote. That's Ksquared as well. So tell us about.
For that one time, and it just took off.
And it just ran. Hey, and what's crazy is when I saw.
You look like it.
Yeah, 100.
You look like the emote.
And when I saw it, I didn't catch on, like a little just slowness on my part. Like I saw everyone talking about this email. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why? You know, and I was like, oh wait, you know, and I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't until probably right now that it fully clicked that it's not just
Yeah.
the emote, but you resemble the emote a little
Right.
bit, you know. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so
Yeah.
go
Part of
ahead.
that was just me putting the blame on my
Yeah,
alter ego
Lyle.
for
Yeah.
For
Lyle
Yeah.
winning.
for
Yeah.
spending the money on the Pokemon.
Hey, yeah, and for those who don't know, we I know he said it earlier. You know, we do WAFs, which is kind of a term for I mean, I can say it on YouTube, like raffles. You know, so it's someone wants to sell something. Obviously, it can be a crazy price, and everyone buys spots, and we whatever the value of the card is. If it's $100, I do 10 spots at $10, and it gives everybody a chance. So Kyle goes in, and that's when I probably first really noticed Ksquared on social media was winning everything to the point where they were saying, "Stop letting him join Crispy. Don't let him be in this one."
The
And
pitchfork. Yeah.
yeah, hey, I'm kind of
What
getting up there. I won a couple myself.
what a thing to be known for. What a thing to be. This dude just wins everything. Have you heard about the dude Kyle Ksquared?
Yeah,
He wins everything.
the guy who wins.
And then Crispy had the meltdown when it was me, Dan, and Tokes.
Oh my gosh. Now, I think the one that really got me, I don't know if you
Oh yeah.
remember
No, we
this one
won.
specifically, but Kyle, so at the beginning of this specific waffle that we did, and it's fine if I say waffle and all that, like that's
Well,
all
yeah.
wrap. I don't know if that was confirmation that you said it was fine or
Yeah,
what.
no,
I don't know what that was.
there's nothing. No, YouTube wise, there's nothing.
Okay. But there was a waffle that I did that had like 4 or 5 booster boxes in it, and the top booster box was a Unified Minds booster box, and I wanted to keep it myself, of course, but that's not how those worked. But of course, at the beginning of the stream, I'm actually, for whatever reason, I had said something like, somebody had asked, I think, in the stream if anybody had ever won, the same person placed first and second before. And I was like, no, actually, I don't think that's ever happened. That'd be really crazy if something like that actually happened. And then sure enough, the man who is on this call ended up getting first and second in that waffle, took home a Unified Minds and Brilliant Stars.
What?
Yeah, I think it was
A
Brilliant.
Brilliant Stars
That's a
booster
come up.
box.
That's a nice come
1
up.
and 2. So after when that happened, I was like, I literally, PJ, I kid you not, I had anxiety that I was gonna get canceled.
Yeah, like
Because
this is rigged.
Because people would think that it's rigged, and I'm like, like Kyle's here now. Like, we'll clear this up. We have this moment. We don't conspire. He still has those in his possession. It's all luck. It's crazy, man.
Well, I
He's
know.
had this crazy luck.
So
it's disgusting.
So we ran it. We used to do when we
just pulled the Arita.
Did you?
In Nico's break?
Yeah. I got bruh.
Jesus, man.
Wild.
Sorry.
I mean that. Hey, no. That's the deal. I mean, we have plenty of time. Y'all talk about what y'all want to talk about. We chat knows. I'm used to Twitch. The viewers will know, you know. But no, like
just live streaming this.
And I'm right. I surprised people. We do the same thing like on stream. What I'll do is, like I said, I do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So what I do is, hey, if you buy in on Saturday, everyone who entered, if you entered on Thursday, you enter on Friday, you enter on Saturday, you get a spot each day, right? You can place an order and it'll get you qualified for a spot, and I do a giveaway for something. Well, one of my close buddies, and it was the buddy who actually helped me start up when I was doing it, helped me with my shop when I was doing it. He would always go in and buy, and just to take part. He like Saturday night he'd buy, and there wasn't a minimum. He'd buy a $3 pack, whatever it was, and 15 out of 17 times was winning, and it got to the point where I'm sitting and when you have these other people who would spend tons of money and have multiple entries, and there'd be days when I'm like, hey, pre-orders get double entries. So you got this one guy who's got 8-9 entries, and you got him who has 1, and it wouldn't fail. And it got to the point where I felt the same way. I'm like, it's not rigged, I promise. And I had guys saying, do you think there's some kind of a scheme to the wheel that's causing this? I'm like, man, I go, we would do Wheel of Death too, so be last man standing, right? So I'm like, the wheel's
That's
technically made for a one pick winner. You know, it's not made to go like, so there's no scheme to it. There's nothing
right.
systematically that's driving this. And
Yeah,
so
yeah. There's so many people that's tried, claiming this and that with the one wheel website and all
yeah,
that. I'm just like, y'all can do your own research. Like,
yeah.
it literally says it, like the disclaimer at the bottom. It says like it's completely random and blah blah blah. Like, it's all right there for
And
you.
you
I,
can't,
I have nothing to gain.
and you can't say it's, hey Kyle, don't support. You know, like, hey,
Right.
Right.
stop enjoying
And
this. You
that's
know,
the
like,
thing too. Like, this dude is one of the most generous dudes in the community. He's
yep,
constantly gifting. He's always thinking about others before himself.
yep.
Like, so selfless. And I'm not gonna cap that, right?
For
I'm not
sure,
gonna
for sure.
like the amount of good that he puts out, it comes full circle
Hey,
because that's what karma is,
100,
right?
100.
So and he deserves it all, truly.
And
Like,
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing is, I see him gift more spots than he grabs for himself.
right.
You know, so
Literally 99% of the time. I don't think I've ever seen a waffle that Kyle's like been selfishly like, I'll take 20 and
right on me.
yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
liking, hey, I've been liking Crispy's response recently. He's like, I'll take 5 and I'll gift them to myself.
Yeah.
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 All right, so we'll get on to the first topic. So the first topic, we'll start with you, Kyle. So tell us about yourself in general and how you got into and how do you remain in this hobby, right? Like, I know some of us may have started when we were young, but a lot of us came back at an older age, especially during COVID and all that. So tell us how you got into it, how you've remained in the hobby, and just give us an idea who you are as as you.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely started when I was young. I still remember getting the Pokemon Blue as the very first video game. And then shortly after, when the packs started hitting, I remember having a sleepover with some friends and waking up and begging my mom to take us and my allowance money to Target to grab some packs. Still so mad at myself that I left all my all my base set Charizards, all that stuff at a friend's house. Friend's house. The parents got divorced, started giving stuff away, and I never saw my cards again. So sad about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it it became that weird kind of awkward stage, middle school, high school, definitely where it just wasn't cool, and you're hugely influenced by your friends and all that stuff. So it just became one of those things where like you're buying the Pokemon game, you're like, oh, this is for my cousin, you know. So uh, definitely stopped collecting for quite some time, and then me and my buddy actually got into it. Probably a little bit before COVID again, and then definitely big time during COVID. And then actually last year, coming up right about a year now, where I just happened to stumble upon Natazo and Nico were actually the first ones I stumbled upon, and then Krispy shortly after that. And I've just stayed super active. I really didn't use Twitter much before. Um, wasn't too big on social medias. I really don't do much on my other ones, but Twitter is just so easy and it's a great community found myself into, and then Wild takes over with the rest.
Hey, I agree, man. So even with starting the stream and having the shop, my friends continuously tell me you got to promote yourself. I wasn't a big social media person, and I'll be honest, meeting you all, meeting a lot of the community has kept me interested. I wake up to see, did Crispy say good morning to us? You know what I'm saying? Like but and it used to be like, I mean, I used to hate social media. You know, I mean, I'm also older. You know, I'm the boomer, and it was like Facebook or nothing. You know, and then I got into Instagram because I don't like to read, and which is why I didn't get into Twitter because I don't like to read. You know, there wasn't enough pictures. But as time's gone on, man, I mean, Twitter's it's so dope, and it's dope watching. Like I mean, I'm sitting there watching people, doing the WAFs and winning WAFs. I'm watching people discuss their, doing the tier list for sets, which we're gonna get into. All that kind of stuff. So I feel you on the social.
Yeah.
Kris, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I mean, my story really mirrored Kyle's, at least the first, 75% of my collecting career being in the hobby. It was literally my entire childhood. I remember, just constantly linking up with my buddies out back and whether it was just trading cards or linking up with the old, cables to our Game Boys and game when we got later on Game Boy Advances, and then later on Advance SP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just constant. We always had that bond. We always had that, thing. But then, literally, like Kyle said, we let society, I guess, looking back at it, peer pressure and all that, kind of get the best of us. Like, I was the one, unfortunately, I was pushed. Like, I wanted to be playing those games, but then I was forced to be on the other side calling those kids nerds, right?
Yeah, for sure, for
And
sure.
and that was it, because if I wasn't that on that side, I would be a loser,
Yeah.
right? And that was just the harsh reality of what public school was. So I let it go for a hot second. I picked it up. I remember specifically on like 2010. It was right before I graduated high school. 2010, I think. I picked up a Platinum Supreme Victors box and a Platinum Arceus box for, I want to say, maybe $200 for the two of them. What a time, right? And that was an amazing experience. I did that, and then essentially fast forward again. That was that, and then up until around the pandemic, really, I kind of took to Twitter. I found Drops first. He was like the literal like first account that I stumbled upon when it came to Pokemon, because I was literally searching for Drops. Right, that was a time when you couldn't go to Walmart or Best Buy or
Right,
wherever
right.
and just pull something off the shelf at will. You had to really, really put the time and effort in and search for things. So found Drops, and the rest is kind of history, man. It like refueled something in me. It kind of brought the kid out of me again, chasing for the cool arts and all that good stuff. And then obviously, in turn, posting and kind of being a social media presence and growing that. And, fast forward even more and being able to have the platform to run these waffles, and then the charity waffle that's currently going on this week. A little shout out, little plug.
Yeah, for sure. And,
Um,
and speaking of that, we'll make sure that there's info on that for sure.
Absolutely. When are you putting this out, by the way?
So
When will this be out?
my goal is to have it edited tomorrow and up
Okay.
by Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, cool. So we'll still have some time
Yeah.
if we do, because that'll be done this Sunday. But
Okay, perfect.
but yeah. So, and that's really it, man. And I've fallen in love. I'm very much a very personable guy. I mean, my entire work career is just essentially just making, building, keeping all the above growing relationships of all sorts and impacting people on different levels as much as I can to kind of get those results. And I've essentially had that same approach of just treating something I live by, treating everybody with honor, dignity, and respect, no
For
matter
sure.
who they are, and going from there. So that's kind of been what I've been about, and obviously it's been amazing to have the folks in the community kind of be receptive of who I am, because I know I'm a lot at times,
Well,
so it's been fun to.
and I think that's what kind of, the two of you guys, obviously y'all stuck out to me. And if y'all get to, and I'll give a brief, on me, because this is
Yeah, I want to
definitely
hear.
about you guys.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I'm not the normal acting or looking, if you want to stereotype, collector, right? Especially card collector, especially Pokemon collector. Like I tell
I
my
don't. What is the norm? What is the
not
normal?
and
Like,
this is
what
what I'll
is?
this is what I'll say. Anybody but hood, and I say it in this way. Like, if my friends from where I'm from know I do this, I jokingly say this. I'll get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Like I say that lightly, but
Okay,
it's
I
like,
get
what
what
you
you
know
mean.
what I'm saying? Like,
Gotcha.
and it's not and I tell people all the time, I'm a nerd. I use that term. Like, I'm a nerd. I'm
Yeah.
a nerd. I'm a
Yeah.
nerd. I got contacts on, but you throw my glasses on, we're all Pokemon collectors.
We're all rocking.
But where I'm from, it wasn't cool to collect this. I mean, and I'm not even not Pokemon, like baseball cards, all this kind of stuff. It just wasn't cool to collect this stuff. I come from a neighborhood where, druggies and gang banging and stuff like that. So it was just out of the norm. But no, so I say that, but I say it, you two, if growing up, persona wise, it wouldn't make sense that you two I'm attracted to, and I don't use I no I'm not, no weird way other than like, but y'all's personalities are super dope. What I'm little wink.
Yeah.
You gonna see Ksquared take me to lunch tomorrow. Uh, and but like, and I say that lightly because I actually grew up around a diverse group of people. But the area I grew up in, yeah, I'm waiting for that. I'm supposed to be picking that up,
Yep.
or
Yep.
that was gonna be delivered with some wings. So that's gonna happen
Yep.
soon. So,
Are you guys close to each other?
yeah, we're about like
Yeah.
45 hour away, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably 40.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're
Nice.
we don't gotta say where you're from, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
Texas. We're down the highway. Um, and yeah, so like again, and growing up, I did get, I was a collector, but I was a collector, and it was the opposite. I wasn't embarrassed because I was hustling. I figured out early on I could buy these packs. These cars are gonna come out. I could go to. We used to have it was, I don't know if you remember the 303 mall, Kyle. It's right off 360 and 303. But it was a huge mall, and it almost like
He
every
has no
other,
clue.
yeah, almost like every other mall. It
I used
becomes
to didn't go down there. Now
yeah,
now
I
I go
got you.
down there
Yeah,
all the
yeah, I
time.
got you. I got you. And it was a huge mall that eventually, like every other mall, it became like a flea market.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like whatever, whoever can afford to be there. So there used to be a card store in there that would do a lot of gaming. They'd be playing Pokemon. So I'd go in there, and I had no clue. Even to this day, the game side I don't know much about, but definitely back then I had no clue. I don't even think I realized they were playing a game. I didn't know what they were doing. It was like witchcraft. Not just playing. No, but I go in there, and I'd show my cards, and people would buy them from me, and I don't even know if I was selling them what they were worth. It was one of those things where it's like I'm out there, and I knew they were rare. I talked to my friends enough to know, and I would never like my chase was Venusaur back then. So if I had a Venusaur, it wasn't going nowhere. And Charizards, whatever. I knew all the big ones that I wanted to keep.
Sure.
But I'd go out there, and I remember having like in particular I remember a Hitmonlee. I remember a Hitmonlee, had that green hollow background behind him, and I remember selling it for like $30. And for me, I'm hustling, I'm making, and to be honest, I probably spent tons more money than what I actually got, right? Just like
Right.
now, but I was the hustler, right? So it wasn't me on PJ's collecting, but I did have my collection, right? I did have my own collection, and so, but yeah, so I got into it obviously in elementary, and I kept a binder, and I had Zards. I had top cards that can buy you houses now. And I remember, and my condition I don't remember, because I do remember I had one of them old school, the little red Pokemon binders that like, I think it was
Mm-hmm.
just four, I don't know, 4 or 6, but and there were no sleeves, just a Zard sliding in there, right? Yeah. So yeah, trying to force it in, it was stuck, and then it get all wrinkly.
Oh, it hurts.
Yeah,
It hurts.
but it's funny. So I actually, so as I got older, I moved to a different area, met some new friends who were big church people. Dad was a youth pastor and all this stuff, and they convinced me that Pokemon was the devil. That it was just so bad, and in there, and as I'm older, I'm like, and I'm they're family to me
Dude,
now. Like, like
I've
they're
heard that a lot
yeah.
though. I've heard that wasn't new to
Mm-hmm.
me. Like I've heard that exact thing
Bro,
a
it's
lot, where that
wild.
was preached more often than not.
Well,
In most,
and it wasn't even research. It was just the term evolution. So obviously they don't believe in evolution. So that's
just everything,
yeah,
they picked it apart,
yeah,
right? And
dragons.
fantastical
but
and magical and
but
yeah,
but what was
Physical
interesting?
violence.
Yeah, and like I said, they're close. They're. I mean, he's like my dad to me still, right? Like they help raise
sure.
me, and all kinds of stuff. I'll run in the streets, and they help raise me a lot. But so again, as I'm older, I can go back, and hindsight's 2020. So they convinced me it's the devil. I remember I'm going out of town, and they're gonna have a garage sale, so I go, hey, sell it, right? And so again, Zards, everything, first edition, base set, whatever. And I remember I was in Lubbock because we have family out there, and my friend texted me. He goes, bro, you're not gonna believe how much money I got for your thing. The guy came up and offered this much, and I was like, how much? He's like, $250, and probably not worth what I had in there, right? But I'm stoked. $250, I'm stoked. So, anyways, long story short, this man ends up going to church that Sunday. I'm still out of town, and he accidentally he had my money and his money in his wallet in two separate sides, grabbed mine and dropped it in the bucket.
Oh
And
my gosh.
so I didn't even get the money. Like that was the worst part of it all. Like he comes home, he's like, bro, and he was selling his own stuff too. So he had $60 and he gave me $60. He goes, I'm so sorry. Again, my best friend, I'm actually gonna be at his wedding this weekend. I'm his best man. Like that's all put behind us. But looking back now, I'm like, those were houses. And the funny thing is, talking about them being so critical of it, these are the same people. And now that I'm older, I've questioned them. They're watching Lord of the Rings. I'm like, what was the difference? There's magic was magic, And again, but it becomes preference, right? Everyone has the reason why they like and don't like something. But so yeah. So anyway, that was my kind of back then. Now I got back into it kind of like everybody else, a little bit before the pandemic. 2019 end of the year, I was in a Target and I saw like, oh, they sell a Pokemon card. It just so happened to be on the shelf, and it was right before the Logan Paul stuff, so it was nothing. We were still able to get it, and so I started buying a few, and then it just so happened Logan Paul a few months later does what he does, and it's even tougher to get in the hobby. But yeah, so that's I actually did it because I was struggling a lot with depression. My mom was sick. My mom ended up passing a few months later, and it helped me. No, appreciate it, brother. But it actually helped me. It actually helped me, and I mean, I'm opening packs. I'm getting some kind of relief. Again, the way I grew up, we don't talk about emotions. We don't try to fix our problems, right? We're supposed to suck it up and move on. So opening packs ended up helping me a lot, and it got to the point where my wife was like, "Hey, you're spending way too much money. Like, we can't do this. Like, we can't afford this hobby you're getting." I mean, I was spending grands a month, and so it just so happens I saw Daylights. I've known Daylights forever. I've known Daylights for years, and I was watching him when he was playing Fortnite and playing COD and all that good stuff, Apex. And so I saw him doing it, and he was like, "Hey, you should consider it." I'm like, "Yeah," and that's kind of the story. That now I'm here. So yeah, long story short, but that's kind of my upbringing in the Pokemon world.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like we all like
tell that story this weekend at his friend's wedding. Hey, remember the time
you sold my
stole my
cards?
stuff and then also stole my
bro
money?
$60 for what are we saying here? Like
I had at least
hundreds of thousands?
I know for sure I had a base set. I had a first edition base set Zard. I had 2 base set Zards. So just those 3 alone, I know for sure I had. Again, nowadays the worth, I don't know how the condition it would have been in, but still. A first edition Zard, definitely down payment on a house, right?
Yeah.
And then I know I had Venusaurs, because again, I was a Venusaur collector. So Venusaurs everywhere, tons, and then again, first edition base set.
You sold the world's biggest Venusaur collection for $60.
Yeah, hey, I'm not even gonna lie. I live right down the street from him. Leonhardt probably pulled up and took them from me. You know what I'm saying?
Leonhardt's in possession of your cards.
Yes, I'm gonna reach out. You scammer. No,
there you go, PJ.
Oh my gosh, bro, it's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. Is that grading? Is that gonna get graded?
Probably it's not in bad condition.
It looks pretty. Hey, I submitted for a buddy a base set Zard, and it literally had been gone through his washer.
Excuse me.
And still got a 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it was horrible, but it's still. And he didn't think it was. He wanted it just to get cased. He's like, the worst case, they'll case it up for me or something. I was like, nah, you got to be a 1 or they're not gonna case it up for you. And it came back. It was terrible. It was terrible. But yeah, now that looks gorgeous.
PSA was in a good mood that day.
Yes. But man, yeah, Zard. And I'm not a super Zard fanatic. I am, because it becomes chases, right? Everyone wants the Zard at a set. But in reality, I don't chase for the Zard. I chase more because I want the biggest card in the set. But if it's Venusaur, Alakazam, I'm all over it. Alakazam needs more love. We need some Altards. We haven't seen him in a while, so hopefully we can get a.
You might be onto something.
I love it. I love it. I'm a psychic guy in general, but they're always gonna do Mewtwo and Mew. But I love Alakazam, Abracadabra.
What am I thinking right now?
You want Taco Bell?
You're wow. I am
Easy.
very impressed.
Easy.
I am very impressed. You are a psychic guy.
Hey, a naked guy playing Fortnite always wants Taco Bell afterwards.
Yes. That was very impressive. The P stands for psychic.
Right.
PJ.
So all right, so we'll get into our second question. And again, I want to be mindful of you guys' time too, so we won't if y'all gotta call it quits, let me know, or if y'all are good.
You're good.
And we'll start with Kris this time. So we kind of started talking about it, which I'll probably plug some of the intro in. Your thoughts on VSTAR? What's the new set? VSTAR Universe came out a week and a half ago. All of us are getting crack it open here in the States now. So yeah, what's your thoughts on it?
I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate the name. I hate how it looks. I hate every single card in it. It's disgusting. I grabbed 5 boxes. I decided to kick 2 of them. The third one I lit on fire, and the last 2 I fed to just local bears.
I thought Steel ate it.
Yeah, Steel ate it. No, it's legitimately one. I know if you want to plug a little bit of what I actually said, but it's one of the best sets that I've had the pleasure and a blessing of opening in person. It was my first. This is like the craziest part, I think. Like looking back, it was my. I've been able to open like Japanese packs here and there, just single packs in hand. And it's always been a fun experience. But I've never been able to open a full booster box of Japanese in person, right? So to be able to do that, and then on top of that, to be able to do it with friends within the community, recognizable, faces in the community for the first time, and then on top of that, I've kind of opened like maybe 2 to 3 boxes, but having it be VSTAR Universe for the first experience. Shit, man, the bar is so damn high right now for Japanese booster boxes. I don't know if I'll ever be able to. Maybe like an Eevee Heroes, right? That's the only thing I can compare it to because I have a love and an affinity for Evolving Skies cards. But one of the best experiences ever, and I recommend it to everybody. PJ, you might have some boxes available if you want to head over to PJ's stream.
For sure.
Kris
but it's
went
incredible.
in to buy 1 box and bought 5.
Yep.
Literally.
Typical Crispy.
So Kyle announced a little break for him, and we had like talked about it. But essentially, I guess I was a little peer pressure because I never actually gave Kyle a definitive answer, right, one way or the other. And he's like,
he just started ghosting me.
Just randomly, he's just like, "Yo, I put you down for a box." I was like, "All right."
You said if Tokyo's in, you're in.
True.
So that's the trick. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna run a WAF, 100%. And I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I put you down for 20 spots." Sorry.
You're like,
Coach already bought his 20.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was I was like, okay, fine. He had a good price, comparably, and it was Kyle. So happy to support as always.
For sure.
And then so I had the opportunity, of course. I didn't know that Voli had some in stock, so I was able to actually get some from him prior. And then I didn't know that we were seeing each other, in person. Like this was like very, very quickly. Like we were like, yo, we're here. Do you want to go here? Like, let's literally, what happened very quickly, and we all met up, and the rest is history, and we were able to do it in person.
For sure.
And it was just an amazing experience. It really was.
It's gorgeous.
Incredible.
What Take.
Yeah, you've been opening it for a while. Right? I mean, not
yeah,
for a while,
I luck out.
A bit, right?
I have my Connect gets it for me Japan release day, which is amazing. And sometimes it's a little upcharge, but I'm like, I gotta get it. I gotta have it in hands. And some sets have bit me in the butt because they're not as hype as you may think, but this one's work. I mean, we're selling out. It's nuts. I mean, I'm on
instantaneously.
I got my guy on speed dial. I'm like, hey, I need 30 more. I need 50 more. I need 20 more. Whatever the case is. Like this week, I was like, he's like, I can get you 20. I go at least 25. And I don't even know if I need those extra 5, but I feel like I do. Like
nah, dude, you need. This is a set, and like I can't. Again, like I'm not. My opinions are my own, but I'm looking at everything as a business, right? So this is a set that you just as soon as the price drops, even if it drops, right? If it drops at all, if it gets to 70, 80, range, like
Snag it.
buy as much
Snag
as
it.
you can, right? Sit on it. It's fun to rip when it's a rainy day out. Like
Yeah.
just have to be able to have boxes of. I know this is a luxury, right? Or somebody that has an expendable income, but by all means, this is the set to do this with, right? Like VMAX Climax was one thing. This is so much better than VMAX Climax, in
Yes.
my opinion. It
Yes.
really is.
Well, and
It really is.
even VMAX Climax right now with the state of everything, it's rising. You know,
Oh no,
it
100%.
got down to like a 60,
taking anything
60
away
to
from
60
VMAX,
$55 box. And I think
Right.
just the hype in general, and I think it's what I'm telling everybody right now. Like, and again, I don't want to get too deep because I want to give Kyle his time. I'm about the Japanese stuff. I love Japanese cards over English cards. I think it's just quality, look, texture. You know,
It's
to me, it just
incredible.
kills it. Now, don't get me
incredible, the
wrong. You know,
difference.
it's been cool. Lost Origin, Astral, Silver Tempest, brilliant. It's been nice getting multiple hit boxes, right? Where like, unless it's a premium set, you're not getting that out of Japanese. You're gonna get basic.
Right.
You might get 2 if you're lucky. You know, and that's just because you're gonna get Gordy and something else. You know, like you might get lucky. And so yeah. But Kyle, wait. Kris. Okay, favorite card out of the set.
Oh, oh my gosh, that is so tough. Probably my chase, which actually I'm gonna put this out there. I'm very big into speaking things into the universe,
Run
right?
it. Yeah.
Mr. Kyle will pull me the gold Giratina.
Let's go. Let's
Okay.
go. It's a
Right,
gorgeous.
Kyle, shake it. Yes. Yeah. Smile now. But yeah, no, the gold cards in general are just breathtaking. I was fortunate enough to have Jeffy, Mr. Jeffthro, pull me the Dialga, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think the Dialga, which was awesome. But I'm still chasing the other ones, and the Tina's right up there. I think that Tina artwork is just absolutely beautiful. Incredible. You've 3? You've pulled 3?
I think I pulled 4. These are just 3 I have.
Jeez.
And 2 of them were from one guy who in 4 boxes pulled 3 golds.
Wow.
4
dude.
boxes pulled 3 golds.
That is insane luck because they've been hard to come by.
Very. Well, so and it's again, I don't want to get too deep on because this is not about this at all. But
Right.
my guy, the guy I usually get from I buy cases, right? And you know, a case you're guaranteed your 2 golds. Well, he was like, "Hey, I can get you some Lucy's. It'll be a little cheaper." And I was like, "Yeah, let's run it. If I can bring the cost down for me, I bring the cost down for the guys." And so it was. I got 20 boxes all loose, not in a case, and literally it was 8 wrapped up in bubble wrap, 8 wrapped up in bubble wrap, and another 8, and he took half of them out. So I took 20 boxes. In one of the 8, 4 of those boxes had golds.
That's
like
crazy.
it was 3 Giratinas and then the Palkia.
That's crazy.
We saw the Arceus gold get pulled tonight on Nico's stream.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So that's
we Volley pulled that in person when we were in person.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
I picked the wrong box. There was 2 on the table. I picked the wrong box. I blame that on Pelly. Pelly picked the wrong box. He said, "I'm sorry." After I was just looking in disbelief.
So Kyle,
I still had a good box though.
Yeah, what'd you pull? What was it?
Was the Raikou, and the Hisuian friends. Friends.
Yeah, I
got
a
decently priced one.
I got in my own hit draft. I always tell the guys we do a certain amount of spots. I'll jump in, and I was able. I was the 8th. This is how hot that case was. I was in 8th spot and got this.
Dude, it's a nice card, right?
Yes, it's gorgeous.
It's pretty dope.
And it's like the 3rd biggest, 3rd or 4th.
I'm gonna sell it, but because the prices are ridiculous right now. But
why not?
It's a it's a business at the end of the day. But it's a beautiful card. I'm just happy to pull it.
Kyle.
It's your time.
So Kyle, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Brother?
I mean, so I've not yet gotten it in person. Myth, shout out to Myth for my break. He sponsored me. He's got 12 boxes coming my way as soon as he gets his first big wave in. I think he's supposed to get it within the next day or 2 and then ship it out. So got a bunch of breakers in there.
Are you sold out?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
I was about to say so we can, but you do it through your Twitter anyways, right? So those watching, the Twitter is going to be in the description. So make sure you follow these guys. Again, they're dope people, but also, they can pull you some fire. So we'll make sure for future breaks, people can get in.
Yep. Yeah, he got me 12 boxes, so I honestly sold out of those pretty quick. I actually had to bug the crap out of Krispy to make sure he wanted in, so I could hold those
Yeah.
last 2 boxes for him and Tokes. But I mean, yeah, this set is stupid. I mean, the amount of cards. Obviously, it's a special set, so you get at least a hit. You know, every pack may not be the hit you want, obviously, but
a hit.
when you end up buying a box, and when you get lucky, I mean, there's ways to especially watch the breakers, and somebody buys a few packs and doesn't really hit anything. Oh, hey, now's my chance, So it's definitely something that's going to also intrigue people to continue to watch, because if somebody doesn't buy a whole box, maybe there's your chance to snipe and
Sure.
get something like, I only grabbed 5 packs from Nico and I ended up with that Irida full art, and I mean, I had no idea that was over $200. I mean,
Yep.
I'm already talking with Myth. Hey, what trade you want to do?
Yeah, let's work something out. It's nice, but it ain't that nice.
Yeah, we all know Myth loves his wife that's for sure.
Yeah.
All of his wife's cars and all that, but yeah, I mean, this set's just crazy. I mean, not to lead into your next topic, but I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what English does for the pool rates and all that when you obviously have a special set, because there was nothing like VMAX beforehand. So I mean, are they going to do something a little different, because it is the end of the set for Sword and Shield, but I mean, there doesn't seem to be booster boxes coming, so it's just going to be one of those where people are going to have to be buying the boxes that are the pack arts and stuff like that to be able to have packs and then offer them that way. But how cheap can you end up getting that? Hopefully GameStop will be running their 25% off during Crown Zenith.
For sure, especially during the holidays.
Hey, I did hear PJ. I forgot to mention. I heard Crispy and I were getting a box each for doing this, right?
Yeah, for sure. Hold on.
Perfect.
He's gonna open it at the end of this.
Yep.
No, I mean, y'all can have the box now.
Perfect.
I do need y'all to swing by. We'll talk later. But all right, favorite card out of the set.
Man, it's so hard because there's just so many ones. I'm looking at the card list right now. As a little
mine. You'll never think it was my favorite.
The Glaceon, right?
I'm like, so that's what I'm leaning towards is the Glaceon. Obviously, got the Suicune in there. I mean, that Raikou with just looking like it's running is amazing. I mean, even the Entei it's just something.
Yeah, they're fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to pick a favorite one, and I think it's going to come down to holding it in your hand.
Art-wise, it don't have to be SARs either. If you have any ARs that you like,
I mean, there's all the stuff. I mean, even the Lapras is dope. I mean, I love the Oricorio because it's a Komiya.
It's so fire. Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
And I mean, you look at just the basic ones like the Magmortar and the Electivire. I mean, those arts.
Those are my favorites.
They're hanging out with each other, just having.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what this is all about.
You got
hanging out with your friends, and that's literally what they're doing.
And then I even love the duo. I like the Zard shooting at Mewtwo, and then you got the other card that's Mewtwo shooting at Zard.
Yep.
I actually called it out because we pulled them in back-to-back boxes, and I was showing the guys, and they're like, I didn't even notice that. I'm like, yeah, it's Zard fighting Mewtwo, and then you got the Mewtwo card is him shooting his whatever psychic bomb at Charizard. So there's more thought. It's not just a card. It's like they're making cards that tell stories now, which is fire.
Yeah, that and I mean, there's not a card that somebody can't pick out and just fall in love with. I mean, there's all sorts of different arts. You look at the Thievul one, and it's a straight comic book.
Oh, that's sick. It's so sick. Underrated too.
Yeah, it goes to. There's not a card that somebody can't look at and say, "That's my chase right away."
Right.
I mean, there's just not one, and that's what's so great about this set is you just have all of these different chances. Every box to hit something big. I mean, you look at that Luminion, a little fish, and they made that thing look
so
brilliant,
beautiful.
So not to cheat, because I'm not going to use that as my favorite card, but if my favorite card wasn't my favorite card, it'd be the Luminion, and I even like the Luminion, the last Luminion Alt-Art too. It's just so fire.
Oh yeah, yep. And the I mean, you just again you get into it. You look at the Zacian V and just that art too. It's just insane. I mean, it looks like a piece of art.
They're amazing.
Sure. They're gorgeous.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
And
Yeah,
then you go into the
Zama's
people like
sensation.
Stilo that correct the full art trainers, and I mean, I'm sure Stilo's sitting there just drooling at all the full arts.
All I'm
All the
saying
full
is,
art
and
trainers.
I'm gonna tag him because I know he probably doesn't watch these videos, but Pokemon's got a lot of work to do. You know, we got a lot of cases to be making right now with this set, man. It's just so many opportunities. But yeah,
For
and,
real.
and that's what's dope. You know, when you watch someone like Pokemon who's doing what he's doing, the fact that Pokemon is making art that can be expanded, that you can tell, you know, there's more to it than just like it's not just the you know the base set Zard. Obviously, it's the best thing in the world, but in the end, it's a picture of Zard with some fire behind him, you know, and
Right.
we've evolved so much from that, and it's telling a story. It's work. There's time put in, and I'm sure the artists are more excited too. Like, man, you're giving me free space to do what I love to do, and you know how many times do we look at, oh, this is this person. I know it's his art. You know, now it's a, you know, he never fails me when he does this. I don't even know all the names, but you know, like I'll hear it all the time. Oh, Hino, whatever. Yep, this is his. You know, like, and then you go look at the illustrator, and there it is. So
Yeah.
yeah, gorgeous set. And I'll say that from my end. Like I was saying earlier, you know, huge Japanese fan. You know, even from my community, you know, we've basically converted fully over to Japanese. And I told them, even with VMAX Climax, you collect VMAX Climax, there's no need to collect so much out of all the English sets, because what we saw with VMAX Climax, which I'm assuming, but Crispy, you made a good point. I'm assuming VSTAR Universe, or was assuming till Crispy said what he said, that like VMAX Climax, we start seeing these same cards kind of throughout the year, which was dope because you had the Rayquaza VMAX, which
Mm.
literally was in Japanese until last month, but it was for a full year, basically sat just in Japanese. You know, you couldn't find it nowhere else, and they finally released it. So that my thought was V-Star may be doing that same thing. But again, going from Sword and Shield to now Scarlet and Violet, we'll see how all this plays a role. But yeah, so definitely my one of my favorite
Yeah,
sets.
do we think, I'm sorry, do we think it's like they gonna fit all of these new arts in Crown Zenith? I don't know.
So
How is this gonna happen?
I don't think so.
That's
Which is,
not possible,
yeah,
is it?
no, yeah, not at all. And which is why I do think it will be spread out through the year. I don't know if they're gonna be able to do the cross again. They went V Star now, right? V Star's the, you know, this is like the second or third
Yeah,
set.
but isn't that
Sword and
mechanic
Shield,
isn't in, yeah, that's the
right?
Sword and Shield,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. So
how is that
yeah.
gonna work with?
So beats me. That was my thought until you said what you said. You know, like
Yeah,
to
no,
you know, it didn't really cross my mind that, oh yeah, we're transitioning over to a new style.
yeah.
Um,
Hey, 1 second, guys. I gotta grab my other ear pod. This one's about to die.
you're good, brother. You're good. So while he's gone, you know, I know he can hear me still. So yeah, so that was, you know, V Star to me, top tier, top tier. I mean, I'm on board with you guys. Was a little bit, you know, when the leaks come out, which is unfortunate. It's cool and not cool, you know, that we get these leaks, but at the same time, like we lose
It's
excitement.
unavoidable.
Yeah,
It's unavoidable, man. Like if you're on social media
it's out
when
there. It's out.
like it's literally unavoidable. You can mute
Yep.
all the keywords you want. You're still gonna you're as when you're as immersed into something as we are with this community, like
It's gonna be there.
it's gonna be there. And
Somebody cares.
does it take away from it? 1,000%, right?
Yeah.
Like
But it
a
ain't gonna.
thousand
But it's
percent.
not. But it ain't gonna stop us.
But it doesn't equate to the feeling of
Of
pulling
having
it
it,
and opening it in person,
and there are
or having
some.
your streamer pull it for
Now
you,
there,
right?
and then
So
again, the dope thing is there were still
Yeah,
some.
Chris.
I know Jeff. Get Jeff. I got to. So speaking of that, next I'm trying to get Jeff on here. I got a couple people. I got a couple really nice people lined up too. So,
definitely,
but
he's
Jeff,
awkward as shit.
which is
He's really
why I need him.
awkward,
Which is why I need him.
but yeah, it makes for great content.
That's. I
Absolutely.
mean, when
Make sure
you.
he walks on a treadmill when he does it too.
Hey,
Yeah.
when you say Pokemans, I know I need you on my. I know I need you on here. Right? It's not-
Right.
it ain't Pokemon. It's
Right.
Pokemans.
Right.
And but you know, yeah. So you get all these cards leaked, but they still find a way. Like Thievul. I didn't see Thievul leak, and when I saw
I
that card,
didn't
I was like,
know.
"This is
No.
sick." You know, this was a really
No,
nice looking one.
there is a lot that we did that I didn't see.
Yeah.
So that's because like with a set like VSTAR Universe, like it's so humongous with the amount of hits, the SARs, the ARs, all the above. Like
Yeah,
you're not gonna like if you want to see everything, I'm sure you
you
can,
can dig for it all for
but you
sure.
can dig for it. But yeah, no, there's still some cards that I was surprised about, which was awesome as well.
So
But
my favorite card, Simisear.
oh,
Simisear. I don't know what it
Oh,
is, but
yeah.
it's so dope.
I
looking.
respect it, dude. It's so funky.
And I know it's gonna be like a $5 card, and I'm with it. I'm gonna have like 12 of them.
It's
You know,
funky, man. I
yeah.
like it. It's
So
it's not a card that you're gonna be like probably cheering over because if it's your case hit, if it's your box hit, right?
for sure, for sure.
But it's a card that like you said, like if it's cheap enough where you can go and just buy singles
Now,
out right
yeah.
away.
Now, the only way I'll get excited is if it comes with a trainer. You know, like I
Right,
gotta, you better put
right,
it. And,
right.
and Pokemon has to learn this. Just like Gordy. Yes, Gordy was disappointing, but you know what would have been Gordy okay is if we knew when I pulled a Gordy, I'm gonna pull something else. You know, like
Right,
and
right.
and I used to see that like was it like Silver Tempest? What was the Paradigm Trigger? We pulled that Rainbow Regieleki, and I'm like, there's got to be a double hit here. There better be a double hit here. You know, like
Yeah.
it's tough, and I think that's what. And you know, I don't know I feel like Pokemon Company trolls us. You know, they know what they're doing. We're gonna put the weird abstract stuff in there, and people are gonna hate it, but hey, it's there. You know, you gotta keep
They have to,
you have to keep
yeah.
the chases
Yeah.
value up. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, so kind of crossing over, which we kind of talked on a little bit. Crown Zenith, you know, Crown Zenith's right around the corner. What do y'all think is gonna live up to that hype? Y'all think? I mean, I as we've already said, don't know for sure. We see that the Lucario is gonna be a promo card in the ETB. We see that it's only gonna be ETBs, which I'll start it off, and I'm not even gonna finish. This is short, and I'm not even gonna talk after you guys about it. But with Crown Zenith, the my biggest concern, ETBs, are y'all gonna live up to the Hidden Fate, Shining Fate style, where there's always a hit in there, or are we gonna be opening Evolving Skies ETBs, where it's gonna take about 15 boxes to get something? So that's my only thought about Crown Zenith. And Kyle, I'll start with you. And
It, I mean, you're already seeing some of the leaks where some of the big chase cards in VSTAR, like the Galarian birds, are promos. I mean, and I think that's the way Pokemon is going to treat it as far as getting as many of these cards into the Crown Zenith set is by making them promos.
right,
So that way, I mean, you're forced to either buy the tins or you're forced to have somebody else have bought 10 tins and then they're selling all, the promo cards. I mean, so potentially it's a cheap way to collect the singles, but then they're still promos, and then that becomes the whole thing of, hey, are they part of a set? Are they not part of a set? Are they just promos? That whole discussion that a lot of people get into where you don't have master set if you don't have all the promos, stuff like that. So it's going to come down to the pull rates. It's going to come down to, is a lot of these cards going to be promos? You have all the tins. I mean, you have the Lucario being the ETB. I mean, how many different products is Pokemon going to push out to us, tin or box wise, that says, hey, here's how you get this card. It won't be in the packs.
right,
So that's going to be the difficult thing to figure out until we start to see everything, especially since they're going to be releasing them in, months apart. You won't be able to collect any of the maybe potentially chase cards until it's a promo that's now available.
for sure.
So I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously the cards are going to look the same, obviously minus the texture difference and all that, but it's the same artwork at the end of the day, and how do you get those is
For
what
sure.
it's going to come down to.
Agree. What's your what on a scale of 1 to 10? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your excitement level for Crown Zenith?
Depends on prices.
Yeah.
Depends on how you can get packs to open. Is it going to be something where you're spending $5 a pack or more? Or is it going to be something where there might be some opportunity in places and online sites and stuff like that to be able to get boxes or tins or whatever you want for, under $4 a pack?
Right.
That's what it's going to come down to. I mean, I'm still probably going to be hyped, especially once you get one in English and one in English and one in Japanese, but it's just not the same feeling.
For sure. For sure. And you know, obviously there's already the talk about Pokemon raising their prices. You know, so I know it won't be Crown Zenith going in the future. So, you know, you're gonna have I'd say the positive is it does look like they're quadrupling their printing over the last few months, you know, so hopefully we get a lot of it out there, especially in English. Japanese, it's unique. It looks like they're not printing. We were used to an abundance of Japanese stuff, and now it's kind of flip-flopped where English is finally. I mean, the quality's not there, but at least it's being printed. You know. What about you, Crispy?
Well, I wish the quality was kept up with or maintained or improved upon. I mean, I can appreciate the fact that they're keeping up with the demand, but like I think Kyle and I've talked about this before. Like I'd much rather them not to this isn't about Crown Zenith at all, but I'd much rather them just put some funding into their quality control and really make sure that the quality is there with all these new sets before printing it in masses and just throwing out just poor quality cards. I mean,
Hey,
the one thing we talk about Japanese to English, like Japanese quality, like you can tell you can feel the difference, you can see the difference, all the above over an English card. I don't think that's even arguable. That's not even something that's up for debate. It's just crazy. So yeah, I know. Just wanted to. I want to take
no.
the time
So
to
I'm
went
with you
off on that.
because I'll say this: as much as I expect English quality to be horrible, still the Zard UPCs let me down. So like,
Oh yeah.
it's like I'm literally buying this strictly. I know the tax can be bad.
It's $120, man.
Take
You know what
some
I'm
time.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
take some time to put out what is worth $120,
Yeah,
right?
and maybe by unpopular opinion, the mat was just as bad. I mean,
Oh, I didn't. I don't even care. I don't even think
the
I
Yeah.
I
used the mat or anything.
I
But
use it for my dog's bowls now. You know, like it's bad.
good. But yeah, I mean, like it kind of pissed me off, honestly. If I'm being like
Yeah.
fully real, like seeing the first couple videos, speaking on the UPC quality and all that, the bigger creators were talking about how well the box was,
Yep.
like how well, like, oh, look at this quality of this box, but this cardboard box. I'm like, who the hell
Who
cares?
cares? You're not
Like,
using
who
it after this.
cares? You're
You're
not
not
talking about you're not buying it for the box. You're
exactly.
not buying it for the stupid little compartments. Like, you're not buying, like, yeah, you can make use out of that 100%, but you're not paying 120. That's not me as a consumer. I'm
Yeah.
not paying $120 to get a cool, shiny, premium box,
But
right?
they know what
And
they
then the
know it.
dice were loose in the box. The
The
markers were
A
loose.
hundred
then
percent.
then
It was
through
super
the
frustrating.
just through the 3 promos in a plastic wrap, you know,
Yeah.
together. And we
Yeah.
we know who Pokemon Center sends free stuff to, so we know why they gotta keep it up. But
No,
no.
100. I get that. I get, like, butter and the toast. I get all that, but like so like that's my thing. So like they're able to get away. We're going
No,
down a
you're good.
rabbit
You're
hole.
good. You're good.
We're
You're good.
going down a rabbit. I don't want to open.
Hey,
I could talk about this all night.
I'll say this: people watching in the comments, I want to hear us go deeper discussion about this type of stuff. Let me know. All right, I'll get these boys
Absolutely.
back on. We'll run it. We'll keep running.
Absolutely.
So Crown Zenith.
Crown Zenith. So I really can't speak on it, right? Because I don't know. I'm just as confused as everyone else in terms of like what is going to be in it, and all the above. Like Kyle brought up some good points with the promos. Like, obviously we know how Pokemon operates on a bigger scale. Like, they're gonna throw all these random ass products at you because they know you're gonna eat them up regardless of what it is. And if it's a special shiny uh, promo card that was just an AR in VSTAR Universe, to make it look better or more appealing, they're gonna do that, right? And they're gonna be able to check that one off the list, type of thing. And another thing that we didn't bring up was the release dates, right? The release dates are pretty far apart. I know we experienced that a little bit with Celebrations, and I think I'm just honestly mirroring Celebrations with Crown Zenith at this point, because that was the one that I mostly was a part of, right? Celebrations. I called up, different big name retailers around me. I knew where I was going to be. Like, I was on top of
For sure.
Celebrations. Like, this
For
was a
sure.
special set that I wanted. Like, but even, during the time too, I found ETBs and you found everything, right?
Yep.
And they kept up for the most part with demand. And obviously Celebrations is more wanted now, whatever. But I think it's essentially going to be a similar type of scenario, right? It's going to be like a special set. You can't get it in a booster box. It's going to be ETBs, tins, collection boxes, pin collections, all the above, that kind of stuff. And regardless, they're going to try their best to get every special card in there from VSTAR Universe. But it's all yet to be seen, right? We can't. So this is all speculation because
We have no
we're
clue.
kept in the dark,
Right,
This
right.
is completely spec. They can do
For
not
all,
that at
hey,
all.
for all we know, they throw some type of V-Star mechanic, and some of the V-Stars are capable. You know, they're playable. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
But regardless, like I'm gonna go into it with an open mind. Like if it is gonna be like celebrations, like ultimately, I guess you can kind of use that as if you want to try to think about some trends with the set, either whether short-term value, long-term value type of thing. Like when celebrations first hit the shelves, or even right before that, I remember celebrations people got early. Whoever was that a sneeze? God bless you.
Oh, I coughed, but yeah.
Whoever was able to get their hands on it, they streamed it, and they were charging $6 to $8 to $10 a pack, right? Like when it was first fresh, and people were buying it up because it was a special set and all that. So I don't know if that exactly is going to happen with Crown Zenith, but again, that's kind of what I'm basing it off of, right? In terms of just how the release is going to go and the market value and of it all and all the above.
Sure.
So we'll see. It should be hype. Why wouldn't it? This is like this is supposed to be the last set of Sword and Shield, right? So why wouldn't they go out with a bang?
Yeah, that's my thought. I think it's gonna be dope. My only concern is kind of what I touched base on is how do they treat these ETBs? If there's gonna be like hidden fates and shining fates, if that's your only option, that and then like gift sets and tins, we got to see some hits. ETBs have been horrible over the last probably since. What was Chilling Reign? Chilling Reign, or what was Evolving? Yeah, Chilling Reign. It was Chilling Reign or Fusion, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies. Since Fusion, I mean, just the ETBs. I mean, even the reprints. You got a Vivid Voltage back in the day had gorgeous ETBs. You're gonna get a nice card in there, even if it wasn't a valuable card. It was a nice trainer or something. And after they did the Vivid reprint and nothing. You can open 4 ETBs and get nothing, which is tough. And I get it. There's a game behind it, but also, give us some pretty stuff for what you're charging us. But yeah, I agree. I think Crown Zenith, more to come. We'll see what happens and see how it plays out over the next few weeks going into, being a holidays coming out around the holidays. I hope Pokemon Center does us right for sure.
I almost wonder if we're going to start seeing more of the booster bundles because those are priced appropriately, and then also the stuff in the ETBs just end up in the trash.
For sure. It's unnecessary.
End up lost, whatever. Yeah. So
everyone's got enough dice.
I think if they continue, right. I think if they continue the booster bundle route, I think that's going to be a good moneymaker for them.
Yep.
Definitely.
All right, so going into this second to last question, number 4, and we'll stick with English on this. We've already had our V-Star. I think V-Star takes the crown for Japanese 2022, but I don't think, many people are going to know names of a lot of the Japanese sets, or it's not going to hit the same. But so English, we'll start with Krispy. Top 3 sets of 2022. I didn't participate. I saw enough. I saw the tier lists. I saw everything go out there. So with you two right now, break it down. What do you think your top 3? And I know 10 was tough enough. Your top 3, and a brief reason why.
Yeah, I caused quite a stir with that. I literally just remember just doing it one night and just like, you know what? I'm just gonna put this out there. I was probably playing Fortnite or something. I was like in between like a break.
Yeah. Probably.
But no, I mean, number 1 is Evolving Skies. It's again, everybody's just gonna come at me and say pull rates overrated, blah blah blah. Pull rates suck, blah blah blah. If you were basing the quality of sets or ranking the best sets, whatever, and pull rates was your number 1 thing to judge it off of, every set would be negative 5,000.
Yeah, and I think people forget when we talk about favorite set, pull rates are part of the gamble when you open cards. Right. We're talking about the cards. Yeah, what's the card you wanted most? Like stuff like that. But yeah,
right. Go ahead. So yeah,
this is the one Krispy wanted the most.
Yeah, I mean that that's one of the best memories I'll ever have because of Evolving Skies and pulling that Rayquaza. But yeah, in terms of value, in terms of card arts, in terms of variety, all the above, I think Evolving Skies is at the tippy top in terms of English sets, and nothing else compares. Modern, nothing else compares. Not even you can make a couple arguments for Sun and Moon sets, maybe, but even still, we're talking just value. The top 12, you're talking they're skyrocket. They're almost like closer to $100 per card of that. Like that's just insane to me. That's insane.
Oh.
And they're continuing to rise. Moonground took a little hit, but yeah. So Evolving Skies 1, period. There's no arguing that. I mean, you can argue, but I'm not gonna listen.
I'm with you.
So 2,
Meat.
right. 2's Chilling Reign. Again, one that grew on me. So Chilling Reign is actually a set that's close to me because it was the first set that was out when I got back into the hobby. It was the new set. It was the one you had to, go for. It was the one that was readily available. And my first chase was that Blaziken alt. Favorite, best alternate art in Sword and Shield. Don't at me on that one.
I got you. You're gonna mute me on my turn.
But I'm ready for it.
But we're close.
Yeah,
we're close.
That Blaziken is beautiful.
I don't disagree.
I think it's insane. I think it's incredible.
The Blaziken was the one card I could never pull for anybody, myself or anybody. And
I heard that a lot. Yeah.
On my birthday, it was gifted to me. Probably the best. So it's not.
Awesome.
And the person who gifted it said, "Hey, it ain't in the best. It's off center." But I was like, "Bruh, I'm getting it graded. I don't care, bro. It's mine."
Right. So yeah. So that was I was opening Chilling Reign a lot. I opened maybe 8 to 10 booster boxes of Chilling Reign in chase of that Blaziken. And I have a little fun story. It's one of my better opening stories. But I was on my last box. I think it was either my 8th or 10th box I stopped on. And I had brought it. I was going up to visit my buddy up in New York. He's up in nowhere, New York. I was with my one buddy. We drove up. I brought my last booster box with me because I was planning on opening it that weekend. And we're all a bunch of nerds. And they were in just we were all chilling in my buddy's office. They were putting together his PC, and I did not want to help, so I was in the corner, just like a little kid. Well, a little bit of both. I couldn't, and didn't. So I was in the corner, and I just like a little kid, just had my little booster box. Didn't have a table or anything. Just pulling out packs, just ripping packs in the corner. And on one of the last packs, I pulled that Blaziken, and I screamed. I freaked out. They had no idea what was going on. They just saw my emotions and my reaction and didn't know how to process it.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing experience, and I'll always have that. So anyway, best. So that's why Chilling Reign, that's near and dear. Chilling Reign also has a variety of alternate arts. I think it's extremely underrated arts as well. The gold Snorlax is a lot of people's chases. I was able to pull that through a Celebrations ETB. Shout out Celebrations ETB.
Nice.
That was an amazing surprise.
Hey,
he's got it already. This dude's collection.
I've got this sits on Nikki's desk.
I've got the Japanese one, and yes, they hit
beautiful.
They hit
beautiful.
Different.
But yeah, and it's an amazing set. I think it's one of those sets that will age 1,000% like fine wine, 1,000,000% like fine wine, right? So it's just an incredible set. And that's pretty much it, right?
So that's your wife's favorite, is Snorlax?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and Lapras.
Love it. And yeah, and then third's a tough one. So third can go like multitude. We're just doing Sword and Shield, right? We're doing like modern
2022.
Just 20. Oh, so I can't even say Chilling Reign. I'm sorry.
We'll
I
accept.
didn't realize you.
We'll accept. We'll say modern. Let's go
I didn't
modern.
realize you said that. Okay.
No, you're good. Let's go
Because then
modern.
I was thinking about like Sun and Moon too as well. Like,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
couldn't even tell you what came out in 2022. I would
To
say.
be honest, I would have considered Chilling Reign like, this year's set for some reason. 2020 to
Yeah, that's
2022.
true.
That's kind of
Evolving
really just
Skies
one
was
year.
21, wasn't it?
Yeah, at the end of 21.
Yeah. So I
It's
can't
a-
even say Evolving Skies.
I changed my question.
We'll say
Over the last 2 years.
Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either or.
So Evolving Skies, Chilling Reign, and then again, so like the third would have to, like, it could go between. I'd have to probably give it to Lost Origin, even though it has not treated me well at all. I'd probably have to go Lost Origin because I absolutely love. I was able to pull the Tina, after many packs, and then I actually have the Aerodactyl waiting for me in a BMW at my house back home. So I'm really excited for that. That's the last one. I was able to pull the Rotom, and I was able to trade for the Berserker as well. So I just think it has cool arts. The alternate arts are pretty top heavy in that one. The Tina is amazing, and the Aerodactyl is amazing. And
you're gonna have to. I think we talked about this already. You're gonna have to come to stream one day, so you can basically see my alt art collection. I mean, this is just skimming.
Oh my gosh,
skimming through them. But I mean,
you got like all of them there, or what?
So a lot here, but I have graded. I've got some that I've been buying recently, and I just haven't put them in card savers yet, so they're not in here yet. But
we gotta talk about too. I'd like to hear your opinion on graded versus not versus raw.
Yeah, if y'all got time, we can throw it in there. We can throw it in there for sure.
Yeah, because that's something that I think I've changed my mind on more recently. Like, I'm a huge binder guy. I don't want to get into. I'm a huge binder guy. Like Kyle, like has got that whole slab display. He's got 1,000 freaking slabs. Can build a house out of it. But I don't get like.
I got the binders too.
I know you have the binder. I know you got a good mix of both. But like, I don't know. I don't get the best from those slabs.
So let's do this. We'll make that our final topic. So real quick, while it's still on you, Krispy.
Yeah.
You gave us your top 3. Now, what's your in general? And I would say let's go modern. Let's stick with modern. What's your biggest, your favorite card or your biggest chase, whether you got it or not yet?
Ooh.
One card you can have or you can keep forever.
Okay, so I'm gonna split that in half. I'm gonna give you my favorite card. Modern card is the Blaziken VMAX Alt.
Okay.
I've been fortunate enough to pull it twice now, which is incredible. But my biggest chase, quote unquote, would be the Umbreon VMAX Alt, because that's something that I've bought so much and opened so much of Evolving Skies, a disgusting amount, and I've never pulled that card. It's been pulled for me. Mr. Jeff pulled it for me, which again I'm very grateful for. But I've never actually pulled it myself, and I'm very stubborn when it comes to that. So that's I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna pull it myself eventually.
Let's run top 3 just like we did with sets. What's one more?
Probably the Tina, man.
Yeah,
that Tina's incredible. Incredible art.
I'm gonna get muted, but go.
I'm ready for it. I have my cursor over your thing.
And I'll go deeper. I'll go deeper on my end, but not in a bad way. I think it's a gorgeous card. And I'll say it now. I think it's gorgeous card, but it just seems like so much going on. Like at times, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, not that it's a bad card. And I had it. I had a guy offer me what it was worth at the time, and I was like, take it. You know, like. And I made a trade. I actually gave a guy. I got lucky because when it first came out, and I guess the guy thought it was gonna tank. He traded me a boost. I gave him a booster box of Lost Origin because he didn't like the Giratina at all for the Giratina. And so at that moment it was like $120 booster box for a $240 card.
Oh, easy. That's been going up too. I'm pretty sure it's closer to 275, 300.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, so Kyle, top 3 sets, and then your top 3 cards or chases.
I mean, it's going to be repeat at this point. I mean, because you got Evolving Skies, so I brought out some examples here. Just to give everyone, look at that pristine 10 right there.
Yep.
Pristine 10. So I believe this is the one Andrew actually pulled for me a while back. Quick shout out. It's not a favorite set, but while we got Mr. Krispy here, here's a big one that Krispy pulled for me.
Let's go.
So
That should
Shining
be
Faith,
a PSA
it's-
10.
right?
Easy,
Oh,
But-
absolutely.
easy.
Absolutely.
We'll talk. We'll get into our
We
grading.
won't go there. That's a whole different podcast.
We won't talk about the card grading. Yeah, Krispy back when he did stream, actually pulled that one for me. And then funny story with some more Evolving Sky stuff. So I had pulled this one myself, and I was getting back into collecting at that point, and I had no idea this was an alternate art. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, "Is this like
is it real?
what is it?"
Is it a real
Yeah,
card?
like,
Yeah, for
it-
sure.
I didn't buy fake Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
So,
What
so
made that? What made that an 8?
The surface was a 7.5.
So
Wow.
See, obviously.
so I'm gonna call.
The surface got murdered.
I'm gonna call
Everything
him.
else was a 9.
I'm gonna call him
9.5.
out on this. I'm gonna call him out. Daylights. Me and Daylights had a huge argument one time, and it went from his stream to my stream to his stream to and I had to stop because I took it too far when he opened his PSA reveals and got no tins. That fiber cloth wiped down them cards. It's a beautiful thing. And I learned the hard way. I learned the hard, and I have a buddy who streams who actually moved to Japan, but he streams out there, and I saw him doing it, and that's kind of what sparked it. But I told Daylights, and Daylights made fun of me. He's like, "Oh, wiping down with a piece of paper, huh?" Da, 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 da. And then his last, which if y'all know Daylights, you know Daylights, he hates CGC now, and all for good reasons. But
No, yeah.
one of his submissions were like 8s, 9s, and it was all surface. And me and like 3 other people from my community go, "Hey, you want a fiber cloth now?" And he was so mad. But and I have a ton of graded that my surfaces.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, and I've debated, can I crack it? But we can talk about that on our discussion around slabs. But my bad, go ahead. So are those your 3 chases, or they're just?
Well, I don't know.
And they don't have to be.
Because then you just got Glaceon in general.
Gorgeous.
I mean,
gorgeous.
You guys know how I feel about Glaceon. So, I mean, it's definitely Evolving Skies, without a doubt. There's just too many good alternate arts. I don't think you can even say that there's a bad one in there. And then, I mean, like I said, this is a literally repeat because then I'm going Chilling Reign next.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got one of my favorite artists. You got the Kumiya. That Snorlax just looks like it's having. Sorry, Snorlax. That Slow King just looks like it's having the best time of its life.
Amazing, yeah.
Best time of its life. Who knows if he even knows where he's at?
Nah,
Won't
he's
complain.
tripping for sure.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's on it.
And then shout out to FTC for pulling me the Alt Art Galarian Moltres because that was a huge.
Did you get it
huge
yet?
race. No, not yet.
Oh, I saw him post about it like last week, right?
Yeah, it was not last Friday, but the Friday before. So
2
that was
weeks
a
and still
huge-
ain't got that. That's weird.
I'm on
Just
payment
kidding. Don't you live like down the street?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, he's about 2.5, 3 hours away.
Yeah. And yeah, that was a huge relief there. And that's obviously part of Chilling Reign too. So I mean, it's just those alternate arts are
Beautiful
just
card.
insane.
Yeah.
Insane. And then it's hard not to pick then a trainer gallery set because you didn't have that until the last 3. You know, you got the decent stuff in Astro, like you got the Machamp.
Yeah.
Another one that Krispy twerked on stream when he pulled.
Hey,
Didn't. I have so many Krispy memes, but that was not one I got because I was also yelling with you.
yeah. I'm looking for that one. I pulled it once, I think.
Yeah. But
I love how we all
again-
have these our beauties, our babies within reach.
I'm watching you guys. I'm like, I gotta show off a little bit. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yeah. And once we talk about slabs, I mean, the binders are just so gorgeous. Binders are gorgeous.
This will be my thumbnail.
Yeah.
Evolving Skies the best set.
Get that FTC meme.
Hey, I got you. Actually, we're gonna use those pics right. Look right there. Give me one. Give me one. Perfect. Got you. Got you. Little screenshot. I'm
So
good.
Oh,
I,
that's mine
I
soon.
have to go. Yeah, I have to go. Lost Origin as the third, and it's not far behind Chilling because I mean this. Not even just the Giratina, but this card is just beautiful with the amount of other Pokemon, the amount of detail they put into it,
Yeah.
and then of course
And
you
and, and,
have
and and for it being an
um,
Aerodactyl, shocking because it felt like they treated Aerodactyl like the Gordy of Pokemon, right? Like it didn't hit, and then they threw that out there, and I had a guy who resented Aerodactyl because when we would open some Japanese, I forget what Japanese said. I don't know if it was Paradigm Trigger. I forget the one that Aerodactyl was the full art, and he hit it back to back to and was ticked, right? And then we see it, and he was like, "I want to hate it so bad, but it's gorgeous," Like they killed that art.
and I like Crispy mentioned. I mean, even the Galarian Berserker. I mean, that's a fantastic drawing right there.
Yes.
And there, it's hard to pick chases. I mean,
So
you almost fall back to Evolving Skies just because of how
it was
incredible all those are.
amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, I've not pulled the Moonbreon, so that's probably a chase. I'm doing the ones that I don't currently have. Giratina I haven't pulled, and then the other one I'd probably have to say is probably the Ray VMAX because
Yeah,
that thing's just gorgeous as well. I know Crispy's got his PSA 10 over there. He tucks into bed with him every night, no matter where he goes.
we
Yep.
the Ray in Japanese, which obviously is like $1,000 card right now, like eight to 900 something like that, right? I had Blue Sky just sitting here forever, like 12 packs. I was ending a stream and I was like, man, I go look, these Blue Sky have been sitting here. I mean, when I say sitting here, like 6, 7, 8 weeks, no one touched him, and we've moved on to other sets. I was like, I think I'm gonna crack them, and a guy goes, how many you got left? I go 12, and he goes, I'll take 6 of them, and then this other guy comes in and goes, I'll take 6, and the second guy who jumped in, the Ray VMAX was there. I was like,
Wow.
why did I like? I was like, I don't know if I
You
was
should have
supposed to open
just.
my mouth, and that happened. And I don't know if subconsciously I was saying it because I wanted to let the guys know, hey, they're still here, or did
Right.
I? But I originally before stream, I was like, I'm gonna crack these, like screw it. And but yeah,
Wow.
and then you said your third was, did you say Lost Origin? What was your third one?
Yeah, Lost Origin as
And
well. I
then
mean, it's just with those alt arts,
yeah,
and then you add on the trainer gallery.
yeah, different
It's
hitter.
hard not to pick a trainer gallery set once you start getting spoiled with that because you get a white code card and you're like, but
Yeah,
you still get a chance of at least a trainer gallery, and it could be a
Ex-
character rare.
that's yes, agree. And then your three, my bad, your three actual chases was Giratina, Umbreon, and who else?
Um, the Ray
The Ray
VMAX.
VMAX, Ray VMAX. And then what would you say is your favorite card in your collection right now?
Just because it got the CGC 10 which is super hard to get is the
The
Glacie.
Glaceon, and the Glaceon's gorgeous. They did it right. I'm not a Glaceon fan,
Is that
and
a perfect 10 or pristine?
No,
point
pristine.
five away.
It missed on the centering by 0.5.
Hey,
Oh,
and honestly, you could, and I don't recommend this. You could
fuck
resubmit it, and there's
CGC.
there's a
Oh
chance
yeah.
that it got it.
My bad. My bad.
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Hey, the joys, and you ask why we don't live stream it. The joys of that
Yeah,
part,
my bad.
which I don't care that you say it, but it lets me bleep it out so YouTube
Yeah.
doesn't trip. But yeah, no, I so for me, I won't take long on the 3 sets because I'm gonna mimic you on the first 2, and then I get muted. I'm gonna say definitely Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies greatest English set that I can think of, like in general. Take value prices of cards out. If I
Yep.
if
Yeah.
if 100 years from now I get a chance to pick one booster box, it's gonna be an Evolving Skies booster box. First print, please. But and then I will go Chilling Rain because this is where I get muted. The best alt art ever. The best alt art ever is the Galarian Moltres. I'm also
Hard to argue.
It's also my second favorite Pokemon. So I'm a little biased, right? Um,
Not Crispy's gonna go get a tattoo of that. I can't wait to show that off.
and we did call that the back tat, right? That looked like it belonged right above the crack. It was I like I said, I'm a Ultra fan, but just the style, it looked like when they started transitioning, when they started being a little bit more freer, they weren't being so strict about what type of how the art looks. Like they let the artist be artists. And then I don't know what it is. It stuck out to me. Um, and yeah, so Chilling Rain. This is where the third one gets a little iffy. It's up for debate because I'm probably not set on this. I have to say Brilliant Stars, and I say that because I think after Evolving Skies, it was the first set where we started seeing like a better booster boxes. We saw the cracked boxes with, and then plus the Zard. I do think it's pretty dope. As not being a huge Zard fan, I think the Zard. Yep, I got one back there too. I think it's a 9.5 as well. Uh, and
That came from an ETB.
Did it? And we opened. I mean, we opened. I was so Starbirth. Go Japanese. We opened a case of Starbirth, and the case had 12 boxes, and we hit 6 alt Zards in one case. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Insane.
And but yeah, I'm not a huge Zard fan, but that's when I started seeing the cards like bigger than just a Pokemon. It was telling a story. It was an artist having freedom to do what they want. So I say Brilliant Stars, but other than Silver Tempest, which I think was tough. I don't know. I just didn't like Silver Tempest. I don't know why. Brilliant Stars, Lost Origin. You can put them, or even Astral Radiance. Not necessarily from the actual Pokemon, the actual cards, but the fun. It was fun to open these. It was fun knowing there's a chance you're gonna get 3 big a full art, an alt art, and a trainer in one box, a gold and a rainbow and a alt art in one box. It was fun. It just felt like you got your money's worth, and also being a breaker, feeling like these people who are trusting you got their money's worth too. It's tough opening a full box of something and there's one hit and it's a full art, or it's a Gordy. Yeah, it's tough. Or even a gold level ball, whatever, ultra ball. Like I get it, but that's not the card they want.
The echoing horn.
Yeah, the poncho. What's one of the latest ones? The leafy poncho.
The vacuum wasn't like a vacuum.
Gold
like
vacuum.
Dustbuster.
Yes, rough.
The gold Dustbuster 3000.
So then going top 3 cards, obviously, my Moltres is number 1, and after that, I don't care. You choose. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna go this one. And this is Krispy, all Japanese. But we're gonna go.
I'm so jealous.
Except the Moonbryon. So anybody watching who wants an English Moonbryon graded, I'll throw that in and a couple other things for
free.
For whatever the value of the Japanese one is.
It was actually going on a wheel tonight that had Krispy's name on one side, Kyle's on the other, and let's see what happens.
Let's run it. Yeah, I want the Japanese Umbreon is the only one I don't have, and I want the Japanese set. Like I even have English Espeon. I think I have an English Sylveon or something like that. But it's like I will trade a lot of my collection to get the Japanese version because I'm not gonna. My wife's not gonna let me pay cash for that for sure. I think at one point it was a $1,200-$1,300 card raw.
Oh yeah.
I think it's sitting around 800 right now, I think. And so yeah, so that's again top 3. So in reality, I'll say Moltres, Umbreon, and I don't have it. I do like the Gengar. The Gengar was a very unique, cool looking one. But again, I don't have after top 2. I really don't matter. There's alt arts. I love alt arts. I was a hardcore trainer collector, and I've shifted over. I still collect trainers, but now it's like the nice art looking. Like I love Ferrosod Girl. Just the nice looking trainer cards, not just because they're trainers. But alt arts, I can collect alt arts all day. I'm looking, and then I take the Japanese route. Both reasons, in the States, people sell them a little cheaper. Even if they're valued a little more in Japanese. And I just like the quality. So yeah, that's mine. I didn't know. And then Giratina, I explained that it's a nice card, but I just feel like it's crazy, like so much going. Even
it's chaotic.
I pulled it. I bought the Pokemon case, and it was still like so much. I'm like, if you don't know take the word Pokemon out, you don't know what you're looking at. Like
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of mine. Last thing, we're adding this, but I think it's perfect. Graded versus ungraded. So you shoot the question, Krispy. What were you thinking?
Yeah, so that's my thing. It's like so there's a lot that goes into it, obviously, with the discussion, but ultimately just the bottom line, graded versus ungraded. I guess what do you prefer as a collector? Because Go ahead.
Yeah, I think for me, I think in the moment I am now, I'm gonna say graded, but it's not necessarily because it's graded. I like encasing. If I could take this route for all my cards, I probably would. I just like the security, knowing they're safe. I've seen so many cards, years down the road, and now they're making binders better. But you had all the ring, the 3 ring binders that were leaving
Yeah.
indentions, so that was obviously tough. And then also for me, I think if I take the graded route, I'm a Pokemon hoarder, like I'm a Pops hoarder, and so it's like you force me to put them in slabs, I'm gonna be a little bit more selective. Where if I could have, you know, 80 binders over here and just keep every card I think looks nice, which
Right.
and in a year from now, did I really care about those cards? Maybe not. So, but I think binders fun. I do have 2 or 3 binders that mean a lot that I keep. Like specialties. I got one with all this. I completed the celebration set. I completed. Um, I think I completed Shining Fates and some of those sets. Oh yeah, see that's it's
There
just
you
gorgeous.
go.
But the funny thing is, y'all know, yeah, Serena. I've pulled Serena a lot, but I don't have it for myself. That's a gorgeous. And people offered. I was like, I'm not. Again, I'm not paying. I'm not. If I got to fork up my car over that card, I just can't right now. And but so I don't have a necessarily a preference, but when I grade, it's specifically because my high value personal collection cards, or if I am thinking business wise, it doesn't hurt to have an Umbreon PSA 10 in case you ever need to pay some bills, like so.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that's kind of my thought. I do have a few that I like. We got a PSA return coming. I've sent a few off specifically and to PSA specifically so it can if I want to sell them, I got them to sell. But I have a lot that I've submitted to CGC and BGS, which is strictly personal collection. Like I don't intend to sell them. And if it came back, like I got this Dragon Ball card. I posted it with FTC today because he showed one of his and I showed the one I had too. It's in rough condition, but I want it. I just want it slabbed up. I want it for protection, so it looks nice but there's not going to be any selling or value to it. And then I know there's been the big debate between PSA, BGS, CGC. I like CGC slabs. I don't like their sticker. Obviously, the struggle with their quality is there. But if I have to pick the best one, if I could submit just to one, it'd be BGS all day. I love how clean BGS looks. PSA, they look. Again, I know they're considered top tier, but it looks like someone's on a typewriter typing up their labels and stuff like that. So that's but yeah, no, to your point, I would say it doesn't matter whatever you feel comfortable with, because again, some people have them slabbed up sitting somewhere. Like I like them because I get to display them, right? And I'm only going to choose the ones I'm going to display. But if I have some and I'm going to have 60 cases, then I'm treating it no different than a binder, really, in my opinion.
Right. Kyle, how about yourself?
It's the same sort of thing. I mean, for protection, obviously. Shout out Pharaoh and his poor shovel of a Moonbreon.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm sure that dude would have loved to have that slabbed up before that happened.
Right.
And I mean, obviously having kids. I mean, mine are a little bit older. Almost 11 and 6, so they know, hey, this don't play around with these. Obviously, you got the majority of them in slabbed or in a one case touch if they are super worth something or in my drawer. So, but it's the same thing. Hey, what card means a lot to you? Like how could I not have put one of my favorite Pokemon in a slab and then on top of it also got lucky enough to get a good grade. And again, it comes down to when you choose the grading service, hey, do you enjoy it? Do you like it? Do you like the look of it? Same thing like what you're saying, some labels are great, some slabs are great,
Well, and like
and
you're that slab right there. You show that one again. The color scheme is perfect with it. What's tough
oh
is
yeah,
when you see,
Yeah.
when you see the where is it at? When you see the Moltres with it, it just you got it's a hard red and black with the blue label. That's
yeah,
what's tough.
yeah, yeah, and obviously you see all those random card grading services that want to start trying to differentiate themselves and be like, hey, look, we'll extend the art or we'll do a color scheme matching, and I think that could be something usable for some of these, and then same thing with the PSA slabs. You know, it does. It's just kind of basic, boring, but it's to the point of, hey, again, are you doing it for personal? Are you doing it for sale? Are you doing it for a business reason? You know, what is your intent to get it slabbed up, to have it graded? And you know, I'm not going to shame somebody unless they go with ABZ grading service.
Yeah, they went because it was
Yep.
$3 and they'd
Or
have it
this,
back
yeah,
tomorrow.
exactly. So it's just one of those things where it depends on your preference, depends on turnaround time, how quick you want it back, how, you know, how long can you last without it, stuff like that. And then obviously cost. I mean, PSA has done a good job by bringing back down that
For
cost
sure.
and reducing the turnaround time, because before, you know, I'd heard the horror stories of a card being gone for over a year, and you know it still hadn't even moved, but yet other people are getting, you know, other cards back. It's like, well, does PSA even still have their cards?
Dude,
Have they lost
yeah,
anything?
that
You
was
know,
that was a scary time
so
for sure.
yeah, so it just
Well, then
again
you
it
saw it got
iffy,
scary
but
because you saw them doing that. Then you saw them live with Logan Paul grading in person in about 3 minutes. You know, it was like, so
yeah,
does it really
yeah,
take as long as
which
you're saying?
right, which obviously when they're getting thousands of cards a day, it's going to take some time, but it's, and obviously the pandemic slowed everything down, you know.
Yeah,
But then you look at CGC, and they were up and turning around cards in a matter of days versus PSA taking months. So it's
yeah.
like, okay, so what is really going on behind the scenes there? And then again, it comes down to cost and what is your
Well,
end
then
goal?
and
Are
then you
you
find
keeping
out
it personal?
half of
Are
the
you selling it?
community is sending fire first edition fire energies to PSA. You know, and it was like we got 10 million cards and 9 million are energy and trainers that are worth nothing. You know.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. But I mean, again, it depends on your preference. What are you doing with it? What slab do you like? What label do you like? I mean, it is what it is. Everyone's going to have their own opinion and their own preference. So if you want to protect your card however you want to. You know,
Yeah.
put it in one touch, put it in a slab, put it in the shout out to I'm sure you got all yours from Min.
Yeah. Yeah.
All your yep. Yeah, so shout out there, because I mean those cases are ridiculous. I
Yeah.
haven't picked up any myself, but I mean I know people have. Nuzzo grabbed those Charizard promos as soon as they came out,
Yeah.
and those look really good.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. How do you want to protect it, and how much money do you want to put into protecting it or using it for profit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did that Crispy? Did we
Yeah,
give
I
you some
mean,
thought?
yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's preference for everybody, right? And like, um, I think I have a few slabs, a few cards that I graded similar to kind of where you were saying, PJ. There's like a sentimental piece to it, and regardless of the grade, like you just wanted those, you know, protected and then be able to display it freely without having to worry about
For sure.
the condition after the fact. Like, and I totally get that. I have some of those on display, but I've been leaning towards, so like some people would call me crazy, but that
I
Blaziken,
call you Crispy.
you can call me Crazy
That's
Crispy.
my. I got two
Uh,
kids, man. That's my dad joke of the day.
I love it. But I ended up breaking, so that Blaziken VMAX that I pulled, that I told the story about, the first one I ever alt I ever pulled. I sent that over to CGC, and it got 0.5 away from being a pristine 10. 0.5. Point 0.5, right?
Yeah.
So that hurt when I saw that, because I was hoping to display that proudly as a 10, and I have OCD out the asshole. Oh, I don't know if
You're good.
I could,
That's good. That's a good word.
but that's a good word.
That's a good word.
Uh, and that
It's a safe
9.5
word.
pissed me off. That point that
For
pissed me
sure.
off knowing that was up there, right? So, long story short, I ended up cracking it. 9.5 CGC slab. It wasn't, the value of it wasn't too much more than a raw, right? But I felt like I wasn't getting anything from that card with it being in a 9.5 slab. So I wanted to crack it, and now it's in my binder that I have with me at all times. and I get to just literally just view it with just a flip of the
Yeah.
page
Yeah.
whenever I want. I could take it out, I could look at it up close, I could feel
Play
it,
with it.
play with it, like whatever.
Like it.
I could lick it,
Kiss
could
it.
take it on walks, take it on dates, whatever I want to do, right?
Meet up with GameStop girl
And
with it.
and I couldn't do. I mean, I could have done that with a slab, but I don't know. My point is, like, I just have like I've been able to develop more of, I guess, an infatuation or whatever of just flipping through pages. Like that's what I was used to even back in the day when I was a kid. You know, I had a big old bulgy 3-ring binder, and I was just, hold on one second, hold on one second, and you know, and that was what I was used to, and that's how I showed. That's how I displayed. That's how I showed. We didn't have slabs, right? I wasn't grading cards. I didn't know what any of that was.
Right.
So yeah, so I understand, you know, that side of things for sure. In terms of like a resell, like obviously, like I wanted to get into like a little side hustle would just be, you know, getting good quality raw cards, grading with my eyes, hoping that they're tens, and then in turn grading, and then you know flipping for a certain
Insert
price.
lawyer statement.
Yeah, of course. But you know, I haven't really done that too much recently. But that's 100%. Like I can understand the draw behind that, and that, you know, being wanting slabs to be a thing. But definitely preference. I just wanted to hear y'all's
For
take on
sure,
it.
for sure. No, and that's I think you can't go wrong, right? In the end, it's what makes you
Right.
happy. Like I've heard people like
Right.
I know the CGC concerns, but there's sometimes some of the CGCs I've got my favorite cards in CGCs, and like I told Daylight this, I go, I mean, they did you dirty. They've been treating me nice, you know,
Right.
you know, and so it just, you know, luck of the draw, because I mean, again, now that PSA and BGS have come down, you know, you can't really go wrong with them either. And you know, the difference is waiting 30 days versus 90 days. And then again, you know, PSA's just got a bigger name, so if it's business purposes, you can't go wrong with PSA. And get the best bang for your buck. I'll see people
Sure.
do that all the time. Like my thought is, and which is why I originally submitted to CGC, was because they graded stricter. I did struggle with a PSA 10, but I had a fat left side. You know, like I did struggle with that, and I did, and it felt like, well, I mean, it's easy. Well, who cares, right? If I'm gonna sell it, who cares? Like, yeah, it should be easy. Like,
Right.
I'm glad, but some of my personal collection, I was like, I want it to get to CGC and get that 10, which I have. Like one of my favorite anime cards is in a perfect 10. It's like a pop one, and it feels good. But to your point, I've got 9.5s and 9s that just feel horrible. Like I'm, you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't even want to. They're in the case somewhere. But yeah, and then binders. I have
It's like
binders.
the 8.
Yes,
The 8s are real bad.
I have a
That would
Captain.
have been cracked, Kyle. I'm sorry.
Well,
That would have been cracked and cleaned up.
I
And
have a Captain America that I pulled from Wise in Japanese. Was so excited, got here, sent it off CGC, came back 10, 10, 10, 8.
jeez.
And it was, and I crack it open. I'm like, I'm gonna resubmit it somewhere else. Turn it around, there was a dent on it that I know wasn't there because I expected it. I was super excited. So my thought is CGC did this. Can't prove it, but that's my thought, right?
Yeah.
And to your point with what you said about your gang or your Blaze again, it's the passion. I mean, now I don't even know where the Captain America card is. You know, it was tough. But yeah.
Oh.
So, hey man, thank you guys. We're almost 2 hours in. I appreciate
I
y'all
know, that
so
was a
much.
lot.
Yeah, but it was fun, man. And this is
That was
kind
a
of,
lot. That was a blast.
and it'll be edited down a little bit. But for
Yeah.
the most part, I think we got a very good convo going. So I want to make sure I can keep as much of it in. So man, again, thank you to you both. Again, their information will be down in the description. Krispy, Ksquared. I mean, it's an honor knowing you guys. Y'all are dope people.
Yeah.
Like I said, sometimes I watch from afar and I'm just like, man, these are just some really nice. I see Ksquared gifting. He makes me want to gift to him every once in a while. You know, Krispy, man. Like I mean, like I actually met you in Dave's stream. I'll tell you
Sure.
this. The funny thing was when I was streaming, I told myself, because I was still kind of growing and back, I had a small community, and I was like, I know I've done well when Krispy follows me on Twitch. And I opened up my stream once, and it showed. I guess you did it while I wasn't on, and I was like, I've made it. You know, Mama, we did it.
I
You know,
love that.
and
I love
but
that.
it was more just kind of the I could tell by the people you are that, you know, hey, if they're willing to follow, they're good. They see you as a decent person at least. You know, they're not. And you struggle, right? You struggle in communities, especially social media and stuff, trying to quote unquote fit in. And so it was like it was just like Krispy. He seems to be around the right guys. You know, I'm like, hopefully I'm one of those right guys one day. You know, so man. But again, I got to know you guys from afar. I thought this was a dope opportunity being VSTAR release, and it was a great opportunity. We're moving into a new set, so kind of closing out, you know, Sword and Shield and all the greatness that's come with it. So your stories are dope, man. You know, getting to know you guys a little more, y'all's the hobby behind you guys, and the stories behind y'all's pools and all that good stuff. So I appreciate y'all, man. What I do want to do. So first of all, thank you guys to everybody who tunes in. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know who else you'd like me to get on the podcast. But obviously, tell me how much you love these guys. Their Instagram and or Twitter or Twitch, all of them if possible, will be down in the description. So show them some love. But I am gonna give you two guys. I'm gonna let y'all fight. Y'all gonna choose. One of y'all can have Scarlet. One of y'all can have Violet. And then y'all both.
No shot.
Yeah, and then y'all both get the promos with it. So man, I appreciate y'all's time. It's the least.
Awesome.
It's
Thank
the least
you.
I can do. So yeah, no.
Appreciate
So
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. And again, I've interviewed Javi. I did a podcast with Javi. You guys are my second one. I'll leave a little teaser ADL pretty soon.
Nice.
But so thank you guys though, man, and I appreciate y'all. Again, 2 hours in, I know you got families, I know you got work, I know y'all got stuff going on, and I know it was tough for all of us to come together, but I'm glad we did.
No, it was a fun time. Thanks for having me, PJ. Pleasure being on here with Kyle too, and pleasure knowing you both. Shout out to you guys, and then also Charity Waffle this week supporting organization of autism research. Okay, you can find it. We'll link it all. I appreciate PJ for doing all that. We're just trying to raise some funds here, you know, support a good cause for during this holiday season, and give back and get some prizes out to. One more next week as well. We'll be supporting NAMI, mental illness charity too. So
perfect. Yeah, and what we'll do is too, not just obviously we'll link all the info, but on the Collectibles 88 Twitter, Instagram, we'll make sure we clip what he just said, all the info Krispy just gave, and we'll promote it.
Awesome.
To help push that.
Appreciate that.
Kyle, you got anything else?
Had a blast. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Kyle, you got anything else?
It's that same thing. With you talking about Krispy, I specifically remember seeing Krispy follow me, and I was like, "What in the world?" I even tweeted it out, everything. I was like, "Man, this dude."
I do remember that. I was like, "Who is this weirdo tweeting me out?"
That's when I was like, "Wait,
I'm just messing."
Do people actually know Ksquared, know Lyle a little bit now?
Yeah.
I don't even remember if that was like around the same time as Lyle or not, but I just started blaming the Pokemon all on Lyle there. So you know, it's definitely one of those things where you just remember those tidbits in there.
Yep.
Of those interactions and all that with the community. So it's all great. But no, appreciate you having me on, having Krispy on, having us both. Glad we could make time. Thanks so much for the gifts. Greatly appreciate it. We still got to meet up so I can give you that Japanese Starmie.
Yeah, for sure. And the Wingstop, I promise you. So, but yeah, hey, thank you both, man. Again, thank you to everybody who watches. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you, guys.
Leave a comment, like the video, show some love, and again, tell us what you think. So my goal is, I'll end it with this. My goal is to not have the normal average Pokemon YouTube. And if the YouTube grows, it grows, and we saw some growth even with Javi's podcast. And we've gotten to talk to people who are excited for what we're doing. But my goal is just to meet people, to discuss topics. It's not going to be about opening every new set and scream about a $2 card. You know, my goal is going to be to introduce people to a dope community, because there's a toxic side of collecting, but there's a lot of dope people. There's a lot of dope opinions, different opinions that we can, you know, we think about anything going on in the world, right? Everyone feels like they got to argue about anything. If we're going to argue, let's argue whether or not Giratina's alt-art's nice or not. You know, let's do stuff like that.
Right.
But, so, but it's been
the Eagles versus the Cowboys.
Yeah, we didn't get to dig deep. We're way past time. But I love my boys, but I respect where respect's due. And right now, Eagles are a monster.
We got a matchup coming up here.
Yes,
soon enough.
We'll see if it's working. We may do like a Uber Eats deal together or something, or a VSTAR box, something.
Absolutely.
All right, boys.
Krispy loves sushi.
Hey, I've just gotten into. Do you like sushi for real?
I love sushi.
I just got into it. I went to New Mexico. Some of the community guys, I met them out in New Mexico. They took me to a spot. I decided to be an adult and try something new.
There you go.
I got away from the Dino Nuggets, and Philly rolls and California, which I know California's crap.
California rolls,
but the Philadelphia roll was the smoked salmon. Oh, it was so. I go. We got a
Good
place
stuff.
called Sprouts, and every Wednesday they put fresh
Mm.
sushi for like $5, and I go and like spend $25 on sushi.
There you go.
So I'm in it now.
Yeah, I love sushi.
I love the stuff with the raw fish on top.
Yeah.
Throw any of that stuff on there.
See,
Yep.
I was never a
The
seafood.
sushimi. Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
see, I was never a seafood
Uh,
person, but now that I've gotten older, I'm like, man, like I love shrimp now. I love, crab, lobster. I'm like, all right, let's start trying stuff that you would normally wouldn't try. Now, the one oysters, squid, that's just I'm a little away from it. I probably would if I was peer pressured, but as of now, I'm not doing it, So,
the
but
same way.
yeah. Well, hey, thank you guys so much. I know y'all got to get some sleep
Thank you.
in. I
Thank you,
got
guys.
to get some more zoning in too. I'm excited. So, hey, love you
Take care.
guys, man. Appreciate it, y'all.
Love y'all.
Yeah.
Later.
Later.
Bye, guys.